What's up guys, this is Chad with Living the Van Life up here in Washington. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure and hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell next to the subscribe button. That's going to notify you anytime videos like this are uploaded. Leave your comments. Make sure and hit the like button down below. Here we are today with this cool 1983 and a half Volkswagen Vanagon. Now this is a two-wheel drive 10-top. When we refer to a 10-top, that's just your standard regular Vanagon, and that's what Josh's is here. The Westfalia is actually based on the Vanagon chassis. Just with the Westfalia, it gives you the extra cabinets and the pop top. And the reason that it is an 83 and a half is that Volkswagen, halfway through the year, decided they wanted to switch from an air-cooled motor to a liquid-cooled motor. And that's what makes these vans unique. Now going beyond that, actually there is quite a bit of backstory to this van. LDOT and I rescued this van out of a cow pasture in eastern Washington where it had been sitting for a number of years. We drug it home across the mountains and we did just a little bit of cleanup on it, and then we sold it to JoJo. You guys know Joe, Cotton Eye Joe. He's been on the channel before. We sold it to him. He did an install of a Subaru EJ22 motor on it, which then he passed it over to Josh. Today, Josh is gonna give us a little bit of a van tour of this cool van that's been in the family for a while. We're just stoked to see that it's still roaming around amongst the family.
Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Joshua Thomas Gray. Today we're kind of gonna give you a little tour of this van. I owned a Westfalia previous to this, and we had that for years, and our family went on some amazing trips. We sold that and then instantly regretted not having a van anymore. I convinced Joey to sell me this van, which he was desperately holding on to and just hoarding at his parents' house forever. His mom was extremely excited when I rolled up and said that I was gonna take it away from their property. Joey was extremely sad about the situation, but at that point, we were planning on going on a road trip in about 2 weeks, so we had to fix some actual problems to ensure that it's gonna work, and then we still needed a whole bunch of other things that we wanted to do to it as well. I was actually kind of excited to get into a Vanagon and not the full setup Westfalia camper. There were some things that I was unsure if I was gonna like or dislike, like not having all the cabinetry and not having the built-in stove and all of that, which I really liked in my Westie, but it also takes up a bunch of space, and we've got 2 little boys, and so as much space as we can have would be better. And so that was kind of the rationale behind, like, let's just get a Vanagon and see how we could kind of build it out to set up for what we want to do. So these are actually Westie cabinets, but not the full cabinets. So it's not taking up all this space back here and all of that. When you have 2 kids, there's just so much stuff that you're bringing. In the Westie, it was literally just stacked to the ceiling. I couldn't ever see out the window. And so without the cabinets blocking so much of the space and having all this extra space over here, I could easily see all the way out all the windows at all times. Having gone on just over a month road trip with 2 kids and my wife, we just kept saying that we couldn't believe how spacious it felt compared to the Westie. I kept thinking, like, we must be forgetting a bunch of stuff because it feels like there's nothing in our van. When we got it from Joey, this bench seat didn't exist. The parts from a Westie were here, but there was just no cushions, there's no nothing. But we got some really comfy 5-inch foam down here, and then the 5-inch foam on the back. So for sleeping, this is amazing. I've never made any cushions or anything like that, but I feel like it turned out pretty sweet and it's pretty comfortable, and I like the look a lot. And it was also closer to winter, so we wanted to install some kind of heater because we have 2 little kids, and like the heater buddy is an open flame. It was about the worst thing ever for our setup. Chad had just done a whole bunch of research and did the Chinese diesel heater, so we figured that would be the best way to go. We went to the Grand Canyon and it snowed the next morning that we woke up, and so we just kicked this heater on and it's like a toasty 70 degrees and it was awesome. Woke up to snow in the Grand Canyon. At least we have that heater, kept us warm. Underneath the seat here, it was bedding that we would throw down here. There were pillows and a blanket and all that kind of stuff. The diesel heater So just down under here that we have in this whole cabinet right now is just the auxiliary battery. There's all this space that's not being used here because we went from the desert to snow. So it was like every terrain. So I had to have boots, flip-flops, long pants, snow pants. So this was a good spot for, you know, like a week or two at a time where it's like I'm never gonna put my boots on and all that kind of stuff and shove it in this whole entire area right here. We also have snow chains hidden away back there. So something that we found out from the Westfalia is that we never used the fridge, even though we had one. It's so tiny and you can't really fit that much in it anyways, especially with 4 people, that we would always have an ice chest with us anyway. And we just have like a crappy ice chest, that's all we would use. This is where we store all our food. It's simple, it's easy, it can get thrown to different spots so people can sit here, or it can get thrown in the corner here. And when we get to a spot that we're gonna hang out for the whole day, you can just remove it out of the van completely. And then you just open up all this space. So another cool thing, not having the full cabinets here, is actually the Westy cabinets come with this tabletop, which we typically just swing over here, lock it down, and it just extends all of the space that we have. But we can also just quickly twist it out of the way and use it sitting here, or just twist it all the way out of the way and put it over here. Really opening up this space over here, especially if we kick out the cooler. So with the diesel heater, you obviously need diesel fuel. And so that was kind of the biggest problem solving of this whole install, was where to put this tank that's full of diesel fuel. I think the biggest priority that I wanted was easy access, where I'm not gonna have to put the actual nozzle inside anywhere. And so then I realized, as I was kind of looking around at different places, I just kind of butted this up against the corner and realized that I could just open my front door and quickly gain access to the tank right here. The one time I had to fill it, because it never has to get filled because it just runs forever. So far, I've had no problems with it being here. I've thought about trying to figure out ways to mount it on the external, but I'm not yet committed to drilling any holes going into my van yet. So I'm not too concerned about it being on the inside, but I'm also not saying that it's the best setup. I've got a little camper stove that we can pull out, and we've even actually cooked in here. We just put it on this right here if it's raining or it's snowing one time. We just open up that window and open up the door, and the flow of wind doesn't seem to be a big problem at all. But we can also easily just grab it, bring it outside, and do our cooking outdoors. So another way to keep things really organized and tidy and neat inside the small space, especially when you have 2 kids who also have a whole bunch of stuff, we found that this little simple setup that was installed has been huge in helping us keep things organized and clean. Even stupid things like putting paper towels somewhere that are quick and easy to access, because the kids are here, they're spilling, they're making messes. This is always right here. But then also they always kick their shoes off, and then those end up being on the ground, and then all the toys and crap get everywhere as well. And we can easily just grab them and just shove them into this compartment, and it just keeps everything off the floor and tidy and clean. And that's like a big deal when you have 4 people inside this tiny van. So one of our other concerns with not having the Westie with the pop top was, where the heck are we gonna fit 4 human beings for sleeping? And our kids are 4 and 6 now and are very close to the point where this isn't gonna work anymore. But my wife and I used the bed down here, but where we put the kids was kind of the next question. And for this whole entire trip, we actually ended up having the kids just lay on the floor here. And we actually just ordered the cot bed that goes in the front. We haven't yet installed it, but next time that's where he's gonna sleep, and then our 4-year-old will sleep on the floor still. And it worked really well on this last trip, so we had no problems with that. So to convert this from bench mode to bed, you just grab it and pull up, and then pull it towards you, and then it flattens down. We also bought just a mattress topper, because there's weird lines and things like this right here. So putting another mattress topper on top of this evens all of that out, plus adds a little bit more cushion. And it is so comfortable. We love this bed in here. some tools in a box. This is literally like what we brought on our trip. I just know that basically there's only a few tools that you need that can do most of what you can do. And if those can't do it, probably should just bring it to a shop. We realized that there was just a whole bunch of crap getting all over the place that had no home. With the Westie, there were so many cabinets everywhere that you don't even have to think about it. You could just put them places. So we quickly realized in California, like, we're gonna need something. So we bought this guy. We moved this from up in the front to back here. When we were out in the desert camping for a couple nights, we just took it out and put it in our living room, which became out the front door of the van, thus giving you all of this extra room again. So this is a temporary thing, but it's been working great. So one of the things that we never invested in our old van was getting it a lift and then getting some bigger all-terrain off-roading tires. I didn't think I would care that much, but on this trip we did a whole bunch of BLM and just like out in the bush camping, and having the lift and the bigger off-roading tires made it so much more comfortable, and I like knew that we would be able to handle it, because dude, the original ones are just tiny, and there were places that we went this time that there's absolutely no way my old van just wouldn't have been able to make it. So that's been quite the upgrade, and it's been really fun. So another way for us to keep things uncluttered and organized and clean and like not smelling horrible is getting a roof rack. And I say not smelling horrible because when you have 2 kids and I have a wetsuit and get in the water sometimes, having a place to be able to put clothing that's wet and gross outside of your living space is extremely beneficial, including we bring things like the kids' bikes and stuff like that. So essentially the roof rack kind of holds our garage. So because we didn't have a whole bunch of time in figuring out exactly how everything was gonna work, I didn't think through how I'm actually gonna access the rooftop. So I'll just kind of show you how I've done it the whole time that we've had this van. All right, so I have to go here, open my window, and step here, and then I can access all of this. What would be way cooler looking and more convenient is a sick little ladder right there. But this was working fine the whole time. No need to buy a $300 ladder yet. Our road trip was from up here, Bellingham, Washington, and we went all the way down to California, like to the border, San Diego, and inland into the desert land down there. We didn't want to waste all this time going on short little trips to kind of figure out little nuances about the van. We figured might as well like full send and do the biggest road trip we've ever done right away and just figure it out as we go. We kind of understood that what we were getting into, we were gonna probably run into problems. So having those expectations going into it, when we did indeed have major problems, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big surprise. You can just pull off the road, hang out, kick the bed out, and just wait for a tow truck to get you. And that's what we did. And it worked. We did have major problems, but that was all part of the fun and the journey and the memories that we'll never forget now. All right, so that's the quick little tour of our 1983 and a half Vanagon that we've been enjoying so much recently. If you want to keep up with the adventures that my family and I are going on, just go onto Instagram, Joshua Thomas Gray. Check me out. Anytime we're doing a trip, I'll just be posting van life stuff constantly. If I'm not, then there might not be much van stuff. So you gotta go through the feed to find those good ones. And then on my YouTube channel, it's mostly like travel adventure stuff. So if you're into that, check that out too. Thanks guys.
You guys should definitely jump in, check out Josh's Instagram, check out his YouTube. We'll post links in the description down below. Otherwise, Josh, he's a fellow filmmaker, he's a fellow YouTuber, and all-around good friend. Plus, he's part of the van fam, and we like to get out in the vans and go adventuring. So anyways, that does it for today's video. Guys, again, if you're new to the channel, make sure and hit the subscribe button and the bell to remind you anytime videos like this are uploaded. Make sure and hit the like button, leave your comments down below, because that's what gets these videos out to the masses, and I appreciate every little bit of help that we can get. Anyways, guys, peace out. Keep on trucking.